can open to the book of John, chapter 5. I'm going to be reading out of King James Version, so you guys might be missing a verse. All right, so I came up with this. God spoke to me this message through an ice cream shop. I went on Sunday with a friend after Easter, or was it? Yeah, it was on Easter Day, and I was really craving some good ice cream. I don't know if you guys ever have that, and I was looking up in Seattle, whatever, Bellevue, whatever, anyone's eating. I always go on Yelp, check their images. I don't know if you guys do that. Make sure it looks good first, I don't believe in those stars anymore. And it looked pretty good, It was called Freddy's and Joe's. I don't know if you guys, or Frankie's and Joe's. Frankie's and Joe's, not Freddy and Joe's. And so I was like, man, good 5-star review and pictures look good. So I went there, and I kind of knew what I wanted. They had some weird names, hipster names to it, and the ice cream looked like clay, literally, but it was so good, so good. And I come up to the register, and the lady, she gives me a little taste. I'm like, what is it? Oh, like a sample test, like they give at Costco. I'm like, I just need the scoop. I want I'm ready, and I was thinking, I trusted that place, I trusted the review, trusted their pictures so much. I was thinking, what if we approach God that way when he gives us his tasks and his, commands and whatever he wants us to do? What if we approach to him, God, I trust in you. I don't need this little sample. I need this. Give me the full thing. All my trust is in you. And God, if you can put him into that, as an ice cream lady, I don't know what they're called, but the scooper, the scooper. And God, when God gives you that scoop, he gives you that sprinkle of, trust me. When I give this to you, this is for your good. This is for my glory. I want you to, consume this and use it. And if we can, I don't know if you guys are in John chapter 5 already. Verse 1. You guys ready? After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called the Hebrew Bethesda. Is that correct? Bethesda, yeah. Having 5 porches, in these lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the water. Then whoever stepped in first after the stirring of the water was made well of whatever disease he was made or had. And here we read a story where there's this pool, pond pool, I guess a pool. And it's called Bethesda, and that's a word for house of mercy. And so you see all these people from 5 different ways taking turns to get saved. And if we move on from verse 5, now a certain man was there who had infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he already had been in that condition a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be well? Do you want to be made well?" So we see this man. He was lying there. He could not. Every time he tried to take a step into that pool, someone would take his place. And you can imagine how distracting, how discouraging, and how hopeless you can become after 38 years. We hear, God gives us a task and it doesn't come out the way we want it, and we lose, within a day or whatever, or one task or one responsibility that God gives us. And you could be going through a phase or a season, and saying, God, make a move, make that, save me, or change me, or transform me, or use me, whatever it is. But God makes us wait for some things. I don't know if you guys noticed that in your life. God takes time to see if you really trust him, or if this is just different motive, like you love saying motive, and I've got that into my head now. And God truly wants you to seek him. He wants you to have faith in him, not faith in your faith. And those moments, those times where you wait, where you just like, man, God, just come on, man. Like, it's been already 3 Tuesdays. It's not even a long time compared to 38 years. And this could be a time where God's testing you. God's testing you so that you can have a testimony later. You can share this with someone else later. And my question, do you have faith in God's way? Or do you have faith in God's will, in the way God will do it? Or do you have faith that God will do it your way? Those are 2 different things. Sometimes we tend to kind of, like, I'm doing it for him, but it's my, my staircase up to get in, higher here. And my second point is, don't underestimate God's power and his process. If we continue reading from verse 7, the sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. But while I am coming, another steps down before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your bed and walk." And immediately the man was made well, took up his bed and walked. And that day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said to him who was cured, "It is the Sabbath. It is not lawful for you to carry your bed." He answered them, "He who made me well said to me, 'Take up your bed and walk.'" Then they asked him, Who is the man who said to you, 'Take up your bed and walk'?" But the one who was healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had withdrawn, a multitude being in that place. Afterward, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "See, you have been made well. Sin no more, lest a worse thing comes upon you." The man departs and told the Jews that it was Jesus who made him well. So you can see this man took 38 years. Let's not forget that. The point is not that he got saved. It took him a long time. And sometimes we have to wait. Hopefully not 38 years, but a long time. And so you can see this man, he had the heart, he had the desire to go to that pool. And you think, like, as those people, they were passing him, and they were, probably telling him, "Hey, when we get saved, we're going to come back for you and bring you." None of them came. And you can kind of imagine that, put that into a work perspective or a job perspective. There could be those men, or that man, there could be one next to you that is waiting for you just to approach him and to bring him into that pool to get saved. And these are 38 years, he's injured, but there's people that are alive well, but it's just a spiritual thing. They haven't accepted Christ inside, and they don't know. They lived 38 years not knowing Christ, and that's just the same thing as lying and not getting to that pool. And I believe in those circumstances, whatever it's work or school or whatever you guys are, there's people around you. I think, like Christina says, God put you in that territory. God gave you that territory. You might think people are all well, happy, and rich next to you, but they're hurtful and they're lost. And I believe our responsibility as Christians is to impact their lives as much as possible. Don't think Pastor Judah Smith is going to be busting into the front company doors, preaching to that person. God put you in there to speak into that man's life. And you might be the only hope he has. You might be the only chance, that might be the only opportunity for him to know Christ. And I just want to encourage you guys to put your full trust in him and everything and all things you do. I pray that you guys have patience in times of waiting, and pray that you guys don't underestimate God.